Well, we're doing it. That's it. That's our plane. Hey guys, welcome back to the Professional Weekenders YouTube channel. Today we are taking a seaplane out to dry Tortugas. So come along with us and check out all there is to see between here and there. Let's go. So here we are flying over Key West. As you can see the city there and the entire island from point to point. So yeah, it was super cool to see Key West from up above, and you can see the very shallow waters. And as we approach here, just in a second, you'll be able to see that red roof. That is the southernmost house. And then just a few blocks later, you can see the southernmost point in the continental United States at that buoy. So yeah, super cool to see there. And we took a picture there the day before. Just past that is Fort Zachary Taylor. Now, Fort Zachary Taylor was or is still a naval base here in Key West. So let's head out over the ocean and, or I guess, over the Gulf and see what else we can see. After we depart Key West, we are flying over what is called the Flats. So the Flats is a very, shallow body of water, which is about 3 to 5 feet deep, and then extends almost 20 miles just west of Key West. And here we were able to see a lot of turtles. I think Lewis said he saw some sharks and some dolphins here as well. I unfortunately didn't see any on the way out, but I did see some on the way back during this time. Alright guys, this is Ballast Key. Ballast Key is the only private island in dry Tortugas. And supposedly this is where Tennessee Williams wrote some of his plays, and he was a playwright, so pretty interesting. And then as we head past Ballast Island, we are going to head towards the Marquesas Islands, or this is the Coral Atoll. All right, and past the Marquesas Islands, you have the quicksands. So the quicksands apparently is the spot to see sea turtles, and we did see some here, and hopefully I can point them out to you guys as the camera rolls. So the exciting part is this water goes down to about 30 feet, and this is essentially a desert right in the ocean. So as the waves move, and as the ocean does ocean things, right? The sand moves underneath it, and that's where you see those stripes and those ribbons of sand. So it's pretty neat how all this was able to kind of come about. So the exciting part is that past here is where there's actually a pretty cool shipwreck. And off the flight path, there is actually a sunken Spanish ship, but we obviously didn't see that. But as we were heading towards Tortugas, we did see this shipwreck here. Now, this shipwreck was actually looking for the sunken ship that had all of the Spanish doubloons and treasure on it. And apparently, people still find emeralds and doubloons there around that area. We thought it was pretty cool. We were almost racing the other seaplane right there, but look how beautiful that water is. And we finally get our first glimpse of dry Tortugas in Fort Jefferson. It's super cool to see that. As you can see, there is that ferry right there, and that is the other way of getting to the boat, or getting to the island rather. And back just off the screen now was the lighthouse at Loggerhead Key. Look at, the island, right, with the fort all around it, and some boats out in the harbor. So it's super cool to see this, and we can't wait to show you guys more on the grounds. It was really neat coming in for a landing on water, right? It's something we haven't done before. So you kind of land, and it's surprisingly bumpy. Like, you think water would be pretty smooth to land in, but nope, not today. So, but yeah, we thought it was so cool seeing this from the from the air. So we take a quick loop around, and then we kind of quickly turn to the right and come in for a landing pretty quick. So guys, we made it. We made it to dry Tortugas. As you can see, we're going past it pretty quickly here, but the pilot does a fantastic job of bringing us in nice and safe. A little bumpy, but that's to be expected. I didn't expect it, but now I know to be expected. So he does a great job of getting us landed. As you can see right there, that ferry right there, that is the other way to get out to the island. I think, if I remember correctly, it is a 2.5-hour ferry ride, or a 35 minute to 45 minute seaplane. But the water looks amazing, nice and cool. You can see the fort in the background, and there is some pretty cool things we've got left for you guys on this video. So continue to hang out with us, and you'll see something pretty neat here in a few minutes. Now, once we landed, it was about maybe a minute or two before we were able to make it over to where the seaplanes are able to dock safely so we can get off of the plane. You guys can kind of see those tents right there. You can stay overnight here at Jar Tortugas. There is some fee associated with that, and definitely give that a Google. So Yankee Freedom is the name of the yacht, or the ferry rather, that takes you out. And then as we pan over here to the right, you can see some more of the island, and that is where they have currently blocked off, at least when we were there, for some nesting birds. We weren't able to see the whole island, but we were able to see a good portion of it. And we really enjoyed our time here, and the seaplane was definitely a cool way to get out to Jar Tortugas. Alright guys, here we are at Fort Jefferson at the Jar Tortugas. As you can see in the background, there's the fort. There's Loomis, he's very excited to be here.
I love forts. So they said that this fort was built, I don't know when, it took them 30 years to build it. They said they used it to house deserters during the Civil War. Yep. And even a few of the people who were complicit in the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. I said most famously the surgeon who fixed John Wilkes Booth's leg after he broke it jumping down on the stage. They housed him here. This would be a miserable place to be locked up. Yes. It's beautiful here when you come on a seaplane. Yeah. And you got water, but man, I don't want to spend
hot
days, weeks, years here.
No,
it is way too hot.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, and especially back then, there's no, you're not getting out of here for sure.
No, not even a little bit.
But
so
let's go check it out.
All right, cool. So, honey, how was the seaplane tour?
The seaplane tour was awesome.
Yeah, what did you see?
I saw all kinds of turtles.
And what didn't I see?
Well, you said you didn't see them. Maybe you weren't looking hard enough. Maybe you didn't believe they were turtles.
You're all a jerk right now.
There was a lot of turtles. I saw at least 2 dozen of them.
What else did you see?
And I saw 2 sharks and a pod of dolphins. And I probably got none of that on video because we're going by at 100 miles an hour and I'm trying to pick up something this tiny on the horizon.
We still had a good time though. I would definitely do that again on the way. Well, I would do that again, period, but maybe we'll see some on the back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, so we are deep in the fort now. Apparently, the sign even says the fort was on a happy place. So these rooms that we're in now are the prisoners' quarters. And yeah, it was a military prison in 1861.
Yeah, the population swelled when President Lincoln commanded death sentences for deserters into imprisonment at Dry Tortugas.
Oh, wow.
And then they have letters here written from those prisoners written home. And they also have a photo, or I guess a drawing, that Dr. Mudd sent.
To show the location of our quarters.
Yeah,
the lighthouse, yeah.
So Dr. Mudd was the guy, I think, who fixed John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah, and then if you go to the left here, I see Dr. Mudd's cell right there. Ooh. Let's go check it out.
Let's go see.
All right, and we're entering into Dr. Samuel A. Mudd's cell. There it is. Yeah. Wow. So apparently, because of the yellow fever, he devoted himself to taking care of all of the individuals who were here. Interesting. So he was pardoned by Andrew Johnson. Go figure. So he was released, and so he was released and left Fort Richardson on March 11th, 1869. I mean, had a pretty big cell for what it's worth. Yeah. So he has 2 windows. I mean, really, what more did you want? There's no kidding. So he had a picture window out that way. Nice breeze, and then off in the distance, you can see the lighthouse.
Yeah, I think I would just sit here all day if I was in prison in this cell. It's not too bad.
It's like the coolest part.
You get some breeze going.
Yeah. Alright guys, so I think now we're gonna head up to the top and get a bird's eye view of the fort. So yeah, it's super hot, but I guess it's just part of being at the Keys in August. So let's go. Alright, so this is the residence area. This is where the park rangers live. We were explicitly told not to go this way because it is close to the public.
So there are 8 park rangers that live here year round, and highlight of their day is when the seaplane brings them pizza.
Yes. Alright, so we're gonna go up the steps. Let's go. Sure, that way. Okay. Not creepy at all. Not even a little bit.
Alright, so here's one of the cannons. This looks like a replica because it is not too bad shape, but it's huge. This whole building is massive. You really get idea how large it is once you're up here. And they did say that this fort is the largest brick building in the Western Hemisphere. And although they worked on it for 30 years, they never finished it. I guess by the time that the end of those 30 years came around, they had developed rifled cannons, which made this building obsolete because those cannonballs could shoot right through these walls despite how thick they are. And you do see some damage on some of the exterior walls I noticed coming up.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. I see another cannon way over there in the distance, a couple of them. So let's go. Let's see what's over this way. All right, so from up here, we are taking a look at the Gulf of Mexico. You can start to get an idea of why this place was built in the first place. The intention was to express U.S. dominance over the Gulf of Mexico and the trade routes to the Mississippi River. Watch out for cacti. And another neat thing I just noticed about these guns, they're on these wheels. You can see there's actually a concrete path that goes around in a semicircle, so they can wheel it back and forth, and that's how they're going to aim these things, in addition to rotating them up and down. That's pretty cool. Wonder how hard it is to push this thing. It doesn't look light. Yeah, so it's not just this one recreation, but they have all these other spots here too. There's 4 or 5 of them right down the line where all these cannons would be. So you definitely wouldn't want to be an enemy of the United States coming up to this fort back in the 1800s. Probably would not be fun. Look at those beautiful beaches.
Yeah, I'm ready to be in the water. I'm so hot.
Yeah, but that water is gorgeous. Unfortunately, this part of the island is cut off. That's a bird sanctuary. We're not allowed to go over there.
Well, it's only certain times during the year when they're mating and nesting.
Is that so?
Yeah, I think we can watch out for that. But,
I thought he said at the check-in that we were not allowed to go over there.
I think it's only during certain times of the year.
All right, and these are the north pylons where we were told for today is going to be our best bet of snorkeling, so that's where we're going to head down in a little bit. It's just the pylons because because they're going to have more fish and coral, and particularly the north side is going to be calmer today. There's a wind coming out of the south, so there are more pylons on the south side over there. But today we're going to be snorkeling over here. All right, so we're going to take these set of stairs down. Definitely be careful up here, guys. There's a lot of like holes, and it's not fenced off.
There's no handrail. It's not 88.
Yeah, it's the least safe national park that I've ever been to. Usually they're very sanitized, but that's cool though. I like it a little bit more authentic. You know, the way that it's kind of been left to weather.
As long as you're in the shade, it's not too bad.
Well, here's the second story. You can go on down this way. I feel like it's like we're almost like we're not supposed to be here because we've got the whole place to ourselves nearly.
I know.
There's nobody else here. The ferry's left just as we pulled up.
Yeah.
It's like, it kind of reminds me of the Roman Colosseum.
Right.
And off in the distance is the lighthouse for dry tortugas, and that is the last island in the Florida Keys.
Alright guys, so we are back at ground level. We finally figured out how to get the hook down. We're going to go back over to the gift shop and pick up some things. And then we are going to jump in the ocean. It's hot, it's swampy, we are ready for it. What do you think?
I'm ready.
Okay.
It's not so bad when you're in the shade, but when you're out here,
Yeah, it's a bit warm.
can you imagine wearing those wool Civil War uniforms?
No, thank you.
Patrolling up here,
It's too hot.
carrying a gun.
Yeah, so here's all the things I can't buy in the store. I really wanted a t-shirt.
Here he comes right now.
Oh. Alright guys, Chris is averted. We were able to get some stuff. Super excited. We also chatted with the, I guess I took the mask off. We chatted with the park ranger. And he says,
the bookshop, the gift shop here.
yeah, and he says that they are here 10 days on, 10 days off, right?
Yep, so we spend 10 days on the island and go back to the main part of the Keys for 10 more days. Says spend some time fishing, swimming, and doing small tasks and projects around, keep doing the upkeep around here.
Yeah.
But he had no idea what day it was, so I can see how days would just get away from you if you're just out here with maybe 8 other people, if you're lucky, right?
But that's pretty cool though. I mean, definitely island time, so
yeah.
very cool. All right, so we landed the seaplane. Well, we landed. We took we disembarked the seaplane right here. We walked through here. We walked up. We walked this way. All the way back here and over and back here. We came down the back step, walked back across the grass, and then we're gonna walk back this way and go snorkel over here.
Do that. I was like peacefully watching the shell like descend to the ocean floor. I was like, oh, this is so nice. It's so peaceful. And then someone comes and takes a bite out of my love handle.
That's going in the log. That was hilarious. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I thought you saw me. I'm such a good wife. Hey, there's a jellyfish. Yeah.
Is it a good jelly or a bad jelly?
I don't know. I didn't see tentacles, but it still scared me.
Found a little crab.
You found crabby?
Yeah, and he was scooting along.
Yeah.
And so I went and go get his picture.
Uh-huh.
I got real close to him, and then he buried himself in the sand real quick.
So no paparazzi.
That was about it.
Yeah.
The tarpon were probably the coolest.
No, I think the parrotfish were the coolest.
Yeah, parrotfish were neat too. Those tarpon were huge though.
Yeah, they're big boys.
They were like 6 feet long.
They were not as tall as you are.
They were probably taller than me.
You think they were tall?
7 feet long, yeah, those were huge. Alright guys, so here's your pro tips for dry tortugas in the Florida Keys. I'd say number one, if you can swing it with your budget, definitely do the Seaplane. It's a lot cooler, a lot faster. You get to see a lot of stuff along the way. And that ties in with number two, is if you can, take either the first seaplane of the day or the last seaplane of the day if you're doing the half day. So we took the last seaplane, which was the 2 p.m. one. Basically, by the time we showed up, the ferry was leaving. So other than the 10 people on our seaplane and 10 people on the other seaplane, we had this place almost to ourselves. A couple workers, but really we had a run of the island, which was really awesome. And pro tip number 3 was, if you can, definitely bring your own snorkel. They do provide some rentals you can get. I believe they're included with the price of the Seaplane. But sometimes having your own stuff is best. This is our first time with like a professional grade type of equipment, and I tell you, night and day difference. No blisters. I can swim a lot faster. My mask fit properly. My snorkel wasn't taking on water.
You weren't drowning.
Yeah. So. It was a little pricey to buy your own stuff, but I highly recommend it, especially if you're going to be doing any decent amount of snorkeling. Worth it. So that's going to do it for us today here at Dry Tortugas, and we'll see you next weekend.
I forgot to ask you, how was the snorkeling?
Snorkeling was awesome.
Yeah, what did we see?
We saw all kinds of fish. We saw parrotfish, we saw little tiny fish, we saw yellowfish, bluefish, blackfish, striped fish.
Tarpon.
And I was going to say the tarpon was the coolest part. They were like 6 or 7 feet long. They were huge.
They were huge.
And I was swimming, and they were bigger than me, I'm telling you what. And then there was just so many of these little tiny other fish all around. It looked like
it was a snow globe. Yeah, I thought it looks like we were in a snow globe.
You couldn't see hardly anything, and then all those fish would move, and then there'd be a giant fish. Tarpon right there. So, awesome.
Yeah, definitely recommend that.
We got to run. We got 1 minute until we're supposed to go.
Okay, gotta go. Bye. Alright guys, so that is going to do it for us today at Dry Tortugas. We had such a wonderful time. The seaplane was fantastic. It was so cool to be able to see everything at such, that altitude. And there is one final look at Jefferson, Island as we sail off, literally, I guess, well, it's not necessarily into the sunset because we're heading back east, but sailing off back this way. So we definitely would do this again. While it was a little pricey, it was really a great way for us to maximize our time in Key West. So definitely being able to see the things from a high elevation was pretty cool. And on the way back, we saw the second sunken ship. I don't remember the name of that one, but if I remember, I'll tell you guys here in a second. So, but yeah, it was wonderful to see what we saw. I was not able to point out the turtles on video, but definitely recommending you guys jump on a plane and head on down to Dry Tortugas. That way, be able to see all those sea turtles and be able to see them for yourself. So, definitely recommending this adventure. And then, yeah, you guys can even race your own seaplane on the way back too. So. And just like that, we are back at Key West. We had a wonderful time at Dry Tortugas. We can't believe all the fish we saw. And I know I can speak for Lewis when I say we had a great time. So definitely recommending this adventure if you're ever in Key West. Go and check out the fort. Go and check out the snorkeling. Go and check out, the history that is at that fort, and then fly on back to Key West. So, so we're going to end the vlog here today. And we're super excited for the rest of our trip and sharing our next adventures with you guys. We have something pretty exciting in the works for tomorrow for you guys, so stick around and check that out, and we'll see you next weekend.
And number 3, what was number 3 again?
Bring your own snorkel equipment.
Okay.